Hello there guys, welcome to another Sunday evening. How are you all doing today? So, if this is your first time watching one of these, this is the end of the week where we like to spectate one of the biggest medieval battles of the week. This is the Bretonnian BRE Sunday event, where we will see two massive armies clash. Each team will be made up of 250 players. Sorry guys, words are hard tonight. And they'll basically be playing on a large open map where they will clash over sort of capturing a couple of different control points. So, pretty quiet start tonight. I think we are just in the event at the moment, waiting for the game to begin. I've seen the admins say that they are just waiting for a few other of the coalition clans to join the event. I think we're missing a few players, but once this thing gets underway, we should have somewhere between 400 and 500 players in this event. And when I say 400 to 500 players, guys, I mean actual players. So with the event tonight, every single character that you see fighting in this battle represents a real player. So there's a real human being behind every single one of them, chair and keyboard. Yeah, so I mean, while we wait, guys, let me switch over to the game camera and let's have a little look through the different armies. So here we go. I am in the coalition event. So tonight, guys, because there are so many people playing Bannerlord multiplayer these days, these big Sunday events are actually split into two events now, simply because we've got too many players for one to handle. So we have in parallel the coalition versus Bretonnia event. That's the one that we are spectating. So this is the Bretonnians, who are a large clan with hundreds and hundreds of players, and they will be fighting a coalition of smaller clans who will band together to make up the Bretonnian numbers. So who have we got in the battle today? Moving through here, we've got this fella here with his excellent haircut. He is a member of the Order of the Lake, which is the Bretonnian shock infantry unit. You'll often see them wielding these large kind of two-hand weapons, trading their lack of defense for superior offense capabilities. So less, no shields, they can't block so easily, but they will be able to deal more damage. So not so good on the front line, but excellent for kind of sweeping around the edges, getting those flanks on your opponents. Moving around here, who else have we got? This guy here, really easy to spot the red and yellow shield. This is Almagarves, a Catalan clan, I believe. And yeah, they're a staple for these events. You often see them in all the weekly large ones. Let's keep moving around the battlefield, see who else we can find, guys. So who's this? This is a knight from the clan of Blood Diamond. So they will be playing on the coalition side today. Blood Diamond are probably one of Bannerlord's older clans. I think we often see them bringing, good 40, 50 players to each event. So hopefully we'll be seeing a nice, strong line from them tonight. Oh yeah, so guys, great. We've got a few people joining finally and a few comments in the chat. Let's see what we've got. I'll just switch back to the camera mode quickly, just so you guys can see them too. We've got Elias for BRE. It's going to be insane day as always. Yep, absolutely agree, bud. These Sunday events are always incredible. Looking forward to this one. And Creole there saying for Languilla for BRE. Absolutely, bud. So it looks like we got a Bretonnia heavy list of viewers tonight, but hopefully we'll see a few more supporters in the chat for the coalition as the event moves on. So guys, I have excellent news. We are now switching to the game camera because the countdown for the event start has begun. We've got 10 seconds left on the clock, and once that counter reaches 0, the armies will begin to spawn in on either side of the battlefield. So while we're waiting for the setup, this map, this actually has been a map even since before I started playing Bannerlord. I remember this from quite a few of the older sort of Benoni videos, and really good to see this one being played again. It's kind of like it's so old that it's new again, if that makes sense. So armies are spawning in. You look at the top of the screen there, we can see just shy of 400 players tonight, but I'm hoping as the event sort of starts and a few minutes go by, hopefully we'll see a few more players join, hopefully just a little bit late to the battle. So I reckon we'll get up to 400 players tonight. Maybe not quite the 250 versus 250 that we promised, but certainly 200 versus 200. So we are starting on the Bretonnian side, and this is the Bretonnian army spawning. And guys, this is what I mean. So when we say, you know, 200 players, literally every single one of these guys here, a real player. This is the Duchy of Brionne, one of the sub-factions for the Bretonnian clan, and they will be in a group chat with their officer at the front there, leading the way and leading the men. And moving across here, you know, you can kind of see all the different regiments and factions from Bretonnia. So let's zoom out a little bit, see if we can get a more kind of bird's eye view. It looks like the majority of the Bretonnian force is choosing to go left across this bridge. And I don't see any movement from the coalition at the moment, but I suspect the control point that we're fighting over in this battle will be the one in this town that we see in front of us. So as the Bretonnians move towards the settlement, I suspect the coalition will come into view. And here we go. Brionne here, forming up in a shield wall, getting ready for the advance. Shields up, just in case of enemy arrows. Look at that, very nicely defending their allies as they move across. Great, great teamwork between the factions there. This blue and white shields with a dragon on, this is Languille, another excellent Bretonnian regiment. And actually, I can see some interesting, almost like dragon knights for Languille with this kind of scale armor. I've not seen those before, actually. Must be a new addition to the Bretonnian mod pack. Very, very nice to see. So the Bretonnians are being sneaky at the moment. They are moving around the flanks of the settlement. Still no sign. Although you can see the coalition in the distance in the town. Yeah, look at that. The coalition have actually taken the town. You can see them through the trees there. So the Bretonnians actually moving their entire army around the rear of the town. I don't know if the coalition have necessarily spotted that this huge flank is coming in. But guys, let's go back into the air. Let's see if we can get a few better shots. So here we go, look. Almagarver's on this flank. I think they've just realised how outnumbered they are, and they are retreating backwards to the safety of their allies. Probably a really, really good shout. Moving backwards into this choke point, which will really help because it means they won't be surrounded. We've also got a another division of Almagarvers. Oh my goodness, guys. I don't think I've ever seen Almo bring quite so many men to the field before. Must be a really, really good time to be part of Almagarvers. So here we go. The Knights of Paravon and Order of the Lake from the Bretonnians, and Gizeru, which is the black and red shields, smashing into the coalition right flank here. The coalition have them nicely sandwiched in this choke point. Over here, we've also got the men of Almagarvers nicely holding back the duchies of Languille and Aquitania on the right there in the blue and yellow. Neither side yet currently kind of getting the advantage. I think at the beginning of this round, the Bretonnians did start with a few more men. But guys, honestly, the skill level in these games, I don't know if that's necessarily going to secure them the victory just because they got a few more numbers. There are some great, great players on both sides. Small push here from the Bretonnians. Paravon, which is the kind of like black and yellow shields, pushing through, breaking down the Bretonnian right flank. And the coalition actually choosing to just fall back ever so slightly. This right flank for the coalition, I wouldn't say it's crumbling, but it's certainly beginning to bend. Back in the centre, Almagarvers and Svansi, which is a Czech clan with the red shields there, they are holding back the Bretonnians through this choke point, doing a really good job. At the moment, the Bretonnians completely unable to break through here. Coalition doing a good job at defending. Although, looking at the numbers at the top of the screen, guys, so Bannerlord does have a slight bug where when we're in spectator mode, it is actually reversed for the rounds, the score, or the number of players remaining. So it is actually now the Bretonnians who are ahead in numbers. Yep, here we go. I was wondering where their backup was. So the men from Brionne there sweeping in from the rear. And I think, guys, that's going to be it. I think Brionne's rear attack there is basically going to secure the victory for the Bretonnians in the first round. And there we go, yeah. 83 against 11. There's nothing the coalition can do now to come back against those sorts of numbers. But really, really nice fighting, guys. Really strong opening match. So guys, if you are new and watching these, what basically happens is after each round, you know, every man gets 1 life and things reset. We count the number of victories as the event goes on, and at the end of the event, the team that secured the most victories wins the event. And guys, you know, one thing I will say is that the 2 teams, you know, we got a pretty good thing going on in Bannerlord. We all play for fun, but at the same time, we also like to win. so yeah, you know, so neither team will want to be on the losing side. Let's put it that way. We've got a good friendly rivalry going on between the 2 sides. So I think for this side, guys, let's move over to the coalition camp as round 2 begins and the coalition clans spawn in. So here we go. Large presence from both teams. And yeah, this is what I mean, guys. So we had just shy of 400 at the beginning of the last round, but look at that now, 410. And I suspect we'll probably get even more in the next round or 2 before the numbers peak for this event. Looks like we just had a few players maybe just running ever so slightly late for the event. So who we got on the coalition side? Who haven't we seen yet? Here we've got the Kingdom of the Franks. These guys I absolutely love. One of my favourite skins in the Bretonnian events for Bannerlord. They just have this very like cool, authentic medieval vibe going on. Do you know what I mean? But this is a North American clan. So unlike most of the other clans in these events, which will be European, these guys will be checking in from a slightly different time zone, from a different part of the world. And they move out to the front lines. One of the Almagarva divisions there, with the red, yellow stripe flag. We've also got Svancy in the red shields with the... you know, I was going to say lion head, but I don't really know what this is. It's almost kind of like a hybrid lion, tiger... Well, lion slash almost like serpent, do you know what I mean? But cool branding nonetheless. They are also moving towards the front lines, being led by their commander on horseback, actually leading the way. Perhaps that's a new thing for the events. The coalition also allowing the leaders of each regiment to be on horseback. Here we've got Blood Diamond. They featured heavily in one of my recent videos on the channel, where we fought against them with the clan of Mercia. But yeah, Blood Diamond, great looking armor. They are moving around the right flank for the coalition, but they're going to have to be careful because look, they've got a huge Bretonnian force coming towards them, and these are the Bretonnians now coming in from the right hand side of the town. Yeah, I think that's a wise shout. No movement yet. Looks like we just have both teams forming up, trying their best to intimidate the enemy. Yep, I think that's a wise shout from Blood Diamond. Fall back there. They are ever so slightly outnumbered on that side. But looks like we have a huge push from the coalition here. This is the clan of VSC, or the Volsen clan, Viking clan for Bannerlord. Since KOH disbanded, they are the only Viking clan for Bannerlord, at least one of the only major one. They are smashing into the lines of Montfort. And this guy here with a kind of castle on his helmet, that is Benoni, famous YouTuber, far bigger than this channel. Guys, if you haven't seen his content, worth checking out for sure. So looking at the numbers, I do think the Bretonnians are still slightly ahead, but it's too early to call it. What's happened to Blood Diamond on this side? Are they still running amok? I mean, they are disrupting a lot of the Bretonnians over here. Yeah, so look, Blood Diamond here actually managing to take on quite a few of the Bretonnian duchies, being backed up by one of the Almagarva regiments. I don't think the coalition are going to be able to win over here. However, they might be able to distract these Bretonnians for long enough. Look here, Jizaru going back to the other side, realizing that they may be committed too many men to this side. And this is what I mean, guys. All the while these guys are in transit trying to find the enemy, that is the coalition managing to use their superior numbers. Over on this side, we've got Kingdom of the Franks, the guys that we looked at earlier. They are fighting against the men of Paravon, just doing their best. And for now, actually, they're holding quite well. But looking at the numbers at the top now, the Bretonnians are beginning to outnumber them 2-1. I think over here on this side of the battlefield, Bretonnian reinforcements haven't yet arrived. But I think it's only a matter of time before the Kingdom of the Franks here succumb to the higher numbers. In fact, yeah, look, you can see reinforcements from Bretonia now charging upwards, and that's it, guys. There's nothing Kingdom of the Franks can do when you're outnumbered 5-6 to 1 like this. Yeah, like we say, you know, it's almost a catchphrase on this channel now. There's nothing you can do when you're outnumbered to that degree. And there we go, look. The leader of the Kingdom of the Franks here doing what he can to try and hold on, but he goes down. There we go, guys. As round number 2 comes to a close, I think that's going to be another victory for the Bretonians. Well played to both teams. As we move back into the camp, you can see all the fallen shields and weaponry. There we have it. The round 2 comes to an end. And at the end of round 2, guys, that's 2 wins to the Bretonians and only 1, well, in fact, no wins to the coalition. I mean, it's early, so, you know, it's too early to kind of say for sure which team will win the event. But certainly the Bretonians now are off to a really, really strong start. So let's see if we can find one of the sides. Here we go. So we've just moved over to the Bretonian side. So guys, one thing I always like to try and do in these battles is to almost like select a champion and then follow that champion for the round. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to pick a completely random player on the Bretonian side, and then we will follow them. So what about this guy from Languille, Fulbert? There we go. So we've got the camera locked on Fulbert. Great name. Great haircut as well, I must say, Fulbert. And the moustache is very, very cool. It's the facial hair that I wish I had. Here we go. So normally, I think the men of Languille are being led by their commander called Talbot, but it looks like they're being led by one of the second in command. So guys, one of the reasons why I love to do rounds a little bit like this is because it kind of gives you a sense of what the actual players see. We often fly around the battlefield getting these like super great eagle views or eagle eye views, and you know, we get the gift of seeing the positions of both teams very, very clearly. However, when you're on the front line, it's not always clear where the enemy are or where they're going to attack from. So hopefully this will give you a flavour of what it's actually like to be one of the soldiers on the front lines. So let's see if our man here, Fulbert, can last the round and lead his team to victory. So we've got the men of Aquitani, the blue and yellow shields out in front. To their right, they've got the Order of the Lake, Knights Pilgrim, the Bretonian shock infantry, and then to the left of Languille, well, in fact, it looks like we've lost them. They're behind there, but that was Gizeru, I believe, which is the red and black clan. So it looks like some of the Bretonians going to the right. Yep, looks like Languille also moving right with their fellows. So this is what I mean, guys. You know, if we were spectating, we would be able to see where the coalition are coming from. But no such luck. Our man here, Fulbert, will be relying on the intel being provided to him by his commander of this unit. And guys, what a unit. Look at this. This must be about a 20-man strong unit. Languille, officer at the front, flag waving in the wind. And they know the coalition are over there somewhere, but it's not clear. There's so much sort of foliage in the way, it's difficult to kind of know where the enemy is. But they're doing the right thing. You know, they're sticking with their allies. So they've got the Duchy of Aquitani to their right in the blue and yellow, and on the left they've got the men of Gizeru. So Languille here, nicely in the center of the line. Here we go, guys. Look, you can see the shields of Almagavas there, and a few of the coalition groups. But I'll tell you what, though, where is the rest of the coalition? Fulbert moving in with his friends. Looks like Languille is being committed to the front line, going after the men of Swansea here. Oh, and there we go. This is what I mean, guys. So there we go. The coalition nicely masking their numbers. The VSC Volsen clan just comes out from behind the building there. Massive surprise Fortunately though, the men of Langui are well trained and they hold the line. Look, our man Fulbert here doing what he can. Oh, and he's lost his shield. He'll probably be looking around to see if there's a spare one, choosing to pick up a spear instead. Oh no, it looks like the Bretonnian line is certainly bending at the moment. A few of the VSC, Volsen clan guys getting through. But our man here, Fulbert, yeah, look, picking up a shield. It's actually one of the enemy shields. Guys, a shield is a shield. And that will give him a nice advantage, having that back all of a sudden. I'll tell you what, Fulbert's doing a great job of staying alive, especially considering they're so outnumbered on this side. Oh, he's going to be low on health though, I reckon. He's been hit quite a few times. Maybe 1 or 2 more hits and he'll be going down. But surviving for now. Looking at the numbers at the top, Bretonnians once again in the lead. Come on, I'll tell you what, this guy is absolutely in the thick of it and managing to survive. Like if this was Top Trumps, he'd have survival skills maximum. There we go, look. Oh, and Fulbert goes down to an arrow. There he is, guys. There's our man. Disappears. Taken to the pearly gates. And the Bretonnians sweep through the town, out the other side, and they chase down what remains of the coalition. Oh, I'll tell you what, guys, that was an absolute steamroll of a round. Usually these are a little bit more contentious. You know, it'll all come down to the wire with a couple of men left over, but I'll be honest, to finish the game with still over half of your army remaining, I mean, yeah, the coalition just didn't stand a chance there. I'll tell you what, though, I was a little bit worried for the Bretonnians for a while because when VSC or the Volsen clan just kind of appeared out of nowhere behind that building, yeah, I genuinely wondered whether or not they were going to get the jump on the Bretonnians. But yeah, no, the Bretonnians being well trained, they did manage to hold the line against all odds. So here we go, guys. This is the map that we're playing on at the moment. Many control points. I think so far we fought over the control point in the forest over here, which I think is C. That might be the one that's in play again. There's control point A, which is over the other side in the village over there. And I think the third and final control point might be situated in the middle somewhere. We've not played it yet, but hopefully we'll see that one before the event comes to an end. So guys, let's move towards the Bretonnian side. So guys, if anyone is watching tonight, I will be keeping an eye on chat. So if you've got any questions about the game or the event or just the channel in general, ping them in. I'll be watching and I'll reply to them as soon as I can. But for now, we're going to move swiftly to the Bretonnian side. Oh, look at this, guys. I love it when like clans do the whole like marching formation thing. It looks so good. The men of Aquitani there. And then we've got the men of Montfort just behind. Look, Benoni there, moving to the front line with his men. Looking very cool, if I do say so myself. Montfort and Brion bringing up the rear there. And then down here we've got the Order of the Lake, Knights Pilgrim, bringing a hefty number of troops, actually. I'd say they probably got well over 20, maybe even close to 30 players on the battlefield there. So beginning of this round again, Bretonnians do have the ever so slight numbers advantage. I don't know what's going on tonight, guys. The Bretonnians do seem to be steamrolling, but let's see if the coalition can claw this one back. So look at this, Bretonnians first to take the capture point. It is the Bretonnians that now have the kind of town or the city, and the coalition will be moving in. So here we go, look, Volsen clan moving to the left flank, chasing down the Bretonnian archers. And I think this is LGA. They are wielding, or should I say, donning another clan's skins. I think it's Akenvacht. But no, this is LGA, commanded by Bobcat, French clan. Got the guys from Blood Diamond there moving in to support them. Very nice. The Kingdom of the Franks there coming over the top as well. SVCI, this is a really nice pincer maneuver, guys. Look, the men of Brion here absolutely caught out. That is huge. Oh my goodness. It's the right choice to fall back when you're surrounded like that. Oh, but guys, the guys from Breon would have lost so many men there. So look at that. The numbers at the top, much more even this round. I think that maneuver, really, really good shout. But they've got to watch out. Look, we've got the reinforcements from the Bretonnians now coming through the rear, jumping over this straight into the fray. Look at that. Very, very cool. Here we go. They've taken the central. I think the control point is just about still owned by the Bretonnians. In fact, no, I think it's owned by the coalition now. They're holding onto it very, very nicely. Oh, but guys, look at that. So despite the numbers being very, very even for a while there, the Bretonnians are actually bringing it back ever so slightly. Look, the numbers starting to go in their favor. I genuinely thought the coalition had that with that first kind of initial flank. They almost trapped Breon, but look, Breon not out. There's a few men of theirs on the battlefield today. This guy with the pike in the background there. And the rest of the coalition now doing what they can to hold on. But, oh, guys, look at this. Reinforcements from the men of Paravon moving into the campsite. And I think with that, it's going to be over. The coalition are going to drop pretty quickly now with that flank coming in from the rear. Oh, what a shame, guys. The coalition was so close. IBN Chadad says, hello Matt, how's it going? Oh, it's been a while for me. Last time I played, this event was like 2 months ago. Honestly, bud, we've been carrying on regardless. If you fancy getting back into it, honestly, I would absolutely recommend it. You know, I'm a bit of a dirty casual myself. I tend to pick this up, you know, every couple of months or every couple of weeks. Sometimes I spectate. Sometimes I get in there on the front line. But yeah, I think there's just something about this that always just brings us back. You know, players come, players go. But I think these multiplayer events just scratch an itch that no other event can, or no other game can. You know, sure, there's plenty of other like medieval games like For Honor and what's the other one? Yeah, there's a few others, aren't there? But none of them have the multiplayer experience quite like Bannerlord, especially these multiplayer events. And there we go, guys. So round number 4 comes to an end, and that is a 4th victory for the Bretonnians. Well played indeed. I mean, it's not looking good for the coalition, is it, guys? But if they start winning matches soon, they might just be able to claw this back. But, you know, I think in order for the coalition to begin to actually win the event now, they're going to have to win the next couple of rounds back to back. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen to them. So speaking of the coalition, let's move back to the coalition lines. Rather than teleport there, I'll move across the battlefield. IBN Chadad, any updates from Tailworld's side? I mean, to be honest, I think there was just a small patch that Tailworld's brought out for war sales beginning of this week. But other than that, you know, there isn't really much happening on their side. No sort of big announcements, really. I think, you know, a year or two ago, there was some chatter about them trying to increase the capacity size for these events. You know, I think they managed to get it up to maybe like 500-600. But, yeah, I'm hoping that at some point, you know, Tailwords might help these events get even bigger. I mean, guys, one of the reasons why we never really tend to exceed the kind of 500-600 barrier is simply because the Bannerlord servers, they're not really up to it. You know, you get to about 500 players, things become a little bit choppy. I'd say between 500 and 600 it's playable, but you do tend to find a bit of teleporting, you know, where the servers can't quite keep track of everyone properly. But, you know, yeah, anything above that I would say is probably unplayable. But you never know. In the future, it would be so good to have these battles, but have, you know, maybe 1,000 players in there. I think that could be really, really cool. And the best thing is, I think we have the numbers these days. I think there are enough people interested in Bannerlord multiplayer to achieve an event of that size. We just need the server capacity, Tailwords. Please, if you're listening. So it looks like we are fighting over control point C again. The men of the coalition moving in. We've got Kingdom of the Franks, Blood Diamond, and Almagavers forming the right flank of the coalition. And as they move through the undergrowth, they do come across the Bretonnians. Look, here we go. Let's zoom out slightly and get a slightly more bird's eye view. of the battlefield. We've got the town at the bottom of the screen there. That's the Bretonnians. You can see Almagava's there in the center, moving in. Kingdom of the Franks backing them up. Look, about to try and do a sneaky flank jump over that campsite. They need to watch out, though. Look, we've got the men of Paravon here and Langui coming in behind them. Oh, guys, this is huge. They're basically doing to the coalition what the coalition did to them. Although Svansi do seem to have spotted it, and they are moving to stop the Bretonnians from flanking around. And there we go. Look, we've got a nice, clean battle line between the two forces. Very, very nice. Well played by Svansi there. I think they pretty much saved their team with that maneuver out to the left-hand side there. The campsite currently owned by the coalition, but it's contentious. Look, you can see the flag going up and down. The Bretonnians trying their best to hold on to it. The coalition, especially the Volsung clan here, trying to take the capture point. And there we go. Look, just moving over to the coalition side now, going green. Although, once again, the coalition do have a strong line here, and they are holding the Bretonnians back. But you can see there is a huge flank coming around the side here. And I think they are about to get sandwiched between two sides. Well, it looked like there was a huge flank. Oh yeah, here we go. Here comes the guys that we saw going around earlier. They are moving around, and yeah, there we go. As the numbers stack, the coalition begin to fall back. There's nothing they can do against those superior numbers. IBN Chadad, I heard about the co-op. What's the matter? Did you try that mode? I'll be honest, bud. No, I haven't tried out the co-op mod. I think it wasn't something that was officially supported by Tailwords, but I think somebody did come up with a mod which allowed for it. But honestly, really cool shout. I'll be honest, I don't really play a lot of single-player Bannerlord these days. I tend to focus more on these events, but it does make me wonder, maybe I should try dabbling in that again. Could make some good content for the channel, especially if we had another good, well-known YouTuber playing the co-op spot. There we go, guys. The last man from the coalition gets cleaned up. And that is another victory for the Bretonnians. My goodness. So that's 5 wins for the Bretonnians, no wins for the coalition. So guys, there is one way that you can help the coalition win, and that is to go ahead and join these events and bolster their forces. So last week, I actually set up a new website called clans.matsfiefdom.com. There's a link in the description below, but if you go to that address, I basically have this kind of like portal set up with all the clans that play in these events. So if there's a clan that you like the look of that's been playing, and you want to join them, if you go to clans.matsfiefdom.com, that will give you a link to every clan's Discord, I think, that you see in this event, or certainly most of them, let's put it that way. But guys, I tried to tailor the list because, you know, we haven't just got every clan in there. It's basically just the clans that I would recommend for kind of new starters. So yeah, with that in mind, if you want to get involved, that's the place to go to. So let's go back to the game camera and we'll see what's happening as the two teams spawn back in. Oh no, wrong camera. That's my face. Let's switch back to the game camera. So here we go, guys. We are joining as the men from... Who is this? This is the Blood Diamond Cavalry, isn't it? We get a bit closer. What we'll do, guys, let's focus on this guy. So we've got Blood Diamond Skittles moving around. Let's just follow him as his cavalry face off against the Bretonnian cavalries. Nice hit there. Moving through. Trying to get the jump. Some of these cavalrymen. Oh, that was close. Very, very close. Cavalry battles are extremely hectic. Oh, good hit. Bretonnians almost got him, but that was close. And our man here, Skittles, trying to get away from the Bretonnian cavalry. It's difficult to kind of see who's winning, but I think at the moment it looks fairly even. Hits one of the Bretonnian shields. Oh, and his horse gets taken out. Skittles is now horseless on the ground. Hopefully his allies will protect him. He is moving towards this horse. Oh, but it knocks him down. Just maybe slightly getting in front of the horse rather than the side. Oh, and Skittles gets taken out by one of the Bretonnian cavalry. Well played to both teams. So while that's all happening, guys, let's move over to the... here we go. The coalition as they move into control point C. So I think we've had this one a few times this game. But we're still waiting for that first coalition victory. Let's see if they can do it. So guys, the coalition actually, for the first time, are actually starting around slightly outnumbering the Bretonnians. So either a few more of their players have joined, or it might even be that one of the Bretonnian clans has switched sides to make it a bit more even. But you can see here a nice, strong line from the Bretonnians. And it looks like they are moving in. Heading towards Almagarves, flooding into this gap. And there we go. Nice and controlled. The coalition there, forming a nice, thick, 3-man strong battle line. Or 3-man deep battle line. They do need to be careful though, look. Brion and Langui moving around the edges. Although these guys need to get into the action. Every second they're not fighting is a second where the coalition is stacking the odds against them. Here we go, guys. Really strong start. I almost don't want to jinx it. But the coalition are doing much better in this battle. Over on the coalition right flank here. Huge presence from the Kingdom of the Franks here. Doing a great job just stopping the enemy from kind of flanking. In the center, we've got a nice, strong battle line from Blood Diamond and Almagarves. They are fighting off against Langui. But guys, although the coalition are doing better this round, it's not a sure thing. The numbers are very even. In fact, the numbers are identical on both sides. Oh, in fact, the Bretonnians actually just starting to get the numbers advantage. Not by much, but just a handful of men ahead. I think the coalition, they needed to be more aggressive there. They had the numbers, but they were playing a bit too defensively, giving the Bretonnians kind of space. And there we go, look, a few guys from Almagarves there, moving in from the rear. Oh, okay, this is what we came for, guys. Matches are always so much more interesting when the numbers come down to the wire like this. One thing I will say, archer positionings for the coalition here, really good. They're going to be racking up a lot of kills firing down into the Bretonnians like that. Although the Heremolts, look, this is the Bretonnian archers. They can see the coalition archers there. And looks like they've been firing at them, and there we go, look. Looks like they managed to take most of them out. Bretonnians now taking back the control point. Oh, and guys, not steamroll this time. You know, the Bretonnians had to fight much harder for it. In fact, I'd say probably the hardest they've had to fight this whole event. But I think they have just secured one more victory. So as round number 6 comes to an end, I think it is the Bretonnians that are going to take it one more time. Oh, what a shame. We are getting to a point now where it's going to be near impossible for the coalition to claw this one back now. But even if they can't win the event, they can definitely make the Bretonnians fight for it. So guys, let me just switch back to my main camera for a second. I'm just going to jump into my PC because I have a kind of app which gives me a few shortcuts for the controller, and it doesn't seem to be working at the moment, so I'm just going to give it a cheeky little restart while you guys can't see. But yeah, basically I've got a PlayStation controller, and this is basically what allows me to get the kind of really nice sweeping shots across the battlefield, because the Bannerlord kind of controls with mouse and keyboard, they're a little bit janky, but with the controller, yeah, we get some nice kind of sweeping movements. So there we go, I've restarted it. Hopefully that will do everything we need. But just before we jump back in, we've got a comment from IBN chat out again. VSC have a lot of numbers, I'm noticing. Yeah, bud, so VSC actually really massive at the moment. There used to be 2 big Bannerlord kind of Viking clans, the Volsen clan, VSC, and Kingdom of Hordeland, which is who I used to play for. But KOH actually disbanded, but I think a good half of their players ended up joining VSC, hence their clan is so much larger now because it's effectively two clans merged together into one large line. So guys, rather than looking at my face, I think I've got the controller working again. That seems to be... it's kind of stopped working again, but it's fine. We don't need those shortcuts. We'll just go back to the event and we'll use the handy fast travel. It's basically the only thing that's not working is I've got a button shortcut on the controller, which allows me to kind of like simulate holding down shift, so you can kind of like go forwards quickly like this. But it's fine. I don't think we need it. We can make this work without it. Do you know what I mean? So guys, let's jump in. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to play another round following an individual soldier. So this time we're going to be following BRE Dominic, who is fighting for the Duchy of Jizeru, which are easily noticeable by the stag emblem on the black and red shields. These guys are one of the relatively new duchies to the Bretonnians, but yeah, I would say probably one of my more favourite emblems of the this, and actually Parabon next to them as well. You've basically got the two newest duchies of Bretonnia out on the Bretonnian left flank here. Dominic's a little bit far behind. I think he's just waiting for his commander here, who's bringing up the rear. But yeah, hopefully he's going to get himself back into the main line in front. There we go. It looks like they are forming a shield wall and about to face off against the men from Blood Diamond. And there we go. Moving into the choke point. Not being too aggressive, but just kind of making sure the Blood Diamond can't break through here. Looks like the fight has begun. Oh, and there we go. Look, Almagava's pushing in through the left there. Guys are going to have to be careful. Oh, there we go. Coalition now in the back lines. The men from Jizeru having to fall backwards, reform the battle line. But guys, there's enemy in front, enemy behind them. Dominic here is going to be having a hard time to try and like survive now. Can he do it though? I'll be honest, if it was me, I probably would have got killed by now. It's great that this guy's still going. There we go. Dominic goes down. But guys, nothing he could do there. Surrounded by the enemy. Did pretty well to survive as long as he did. Here we go. The fight is well and truly underway. And you can kind of see here in the kind of main centre courtyard, we've got the Bretonnians on the left, Coalition on the right hand side, reinforcements from Montfort coming in, pushing the Coalition on this side. Although VSC over here have a few men just keeping the Bretonnians in check and stopping them from fully encircling the Coalition forces. Very nicely played. Very good battlefield awareness. Although the numbers are starting to stack. Look, you've got Brion here moving around the back of the Coalition. Oh, and I think, guys, we might be about to see the Coalition numbers drop pretty quickly now. I think the last remaining sort of bastion for the Coalition are these men just here. Everyone on the left, the Coalition, pretty much everyone on the right belongs to the Bretonnians. Can the Coalition hold on? They are having to fall back ever so slightly against those superior numbers. Yeah, and there we go, guys. Look, Bretonnians pushing forwards. I think that's it, pretty much overcoming the Coalition lines. IBN Chadad. I mean, it might be Bud, to be fair. One thing I will say is these modded events, they do have a lot of developers and creators who are actually creating, you know, obviously the custom models, skins. I think they do have a couple of bespoke animations in the Bretonnian mod pack. So I wouldn't be surprised if they've swapped out some of the vanilla Bannerlord ones for sort of custom ones, or certainly added more variety on top of the ones that are in the game. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm just saying, if you see some ones that you've not seen before, animations you've not seen before, there's a fair chance they might be custom made by the BRE developers. And there we go, guys. Round number 7 comes to an end, and that is yet another win for the Bretonnians. Oh, crikey, the Coalition not doing particularly well in this event. I mean, guys, one thing I will say is that sometimes whether you win or lose can just come down to the quality and experience of the men on your side. It might just be tonight that the Bretonnians attracting a lot of experienced Bannerlord players this week, whereas the Coalition maybe bringing a few more newer players who haven't got too much experience to the field. But guys, one thing I will say is that these events, they are pretty 50-50 to be honest. In this one, we're seeing a bit of a steamroll for the Bretonnians, but all you got to do is go back and look at some of my other live streams, because there are plenty of examples where it's the total opposite. I think it really just comes down to who's commanding each week and which players are on the battlefield supporting their team. IBN chatted, you can follow Bron Brion, flag but carrier. The guy is a big boy tank. Do you know what, bud? Let's do exactly that. Let's find the Brion flag guy, which I think is this dude here. Here you go, Bron the Bear. My goodness, look at the height of that guy. He's like a clear foot above every other person and built like an absolute tank. In these multiplayer events, guys, every player gets to kind of like create their avatar, and you get all these kind of sliders and things for how kind of tall and how large you want your player to be, you know, how deep their voice is. You can even customize like cheekbones and stuff. It's pretty cool. But this guy, he just looks like he just took all the size sliders and just turned them way up to the max. Very, very cool. So let's follow Bron the Bear. And actually, do you know what? Probably a good shout, because the experienced bannermen, while they lead from the front, they will be trying their best to stay alive. So typically with the bannermen, what you'll find is, rather than actually being aggressive, their job is basically to stay alive and help their teammates see where their regiment is. Because you got to remember, it's easy to get lost on the battlefield and lose the rest of your team. So actually being able to look across the battlefield, see the banner, is really, really handy for kind of making sure people can join back up. So often you'll hear the commanders in the Discord or chat, voice chat, asking the team to come back together and regroup under the flag. So this guy, although he'll be standing in the rear, holding a very pivotal role indeed. Do you know what? One thing I've never actually thought about is I wonder if Bannerlord actually have a larger hitbox for guys that are bigger, or whether they just have it such that it doesn't matter how high you are or how big you are, the hitbox is the same. If anyone knows, comment in the chat. I'd love to know. So here we go. Men from Brion moving towards the front line. We've got a huge presence from the men of Almagarve's front there. It looks like Brion are supporting Benoni and the troops of Montfort. And actually, I'll tell you what, guys, when we spectate in future, I might try and do it a bit more often with the flag bearers, because we get a really, really nice shot of the battle line. And there we go. Bron the Bear doing his job, holding back, trying to stay alive to make sure his allies can see where his regiment is. But guys, the Bretonnians are being pushed hard on this side. Oh no, and Bron being caught out there. Is he going to be able to survive? He's taken a few hits there. Probably not much health left. Yep, and he goes down. What a shame. But I'll tell you what, guys, huge push from the Coalition there. I thought the Bretonnians had a pretty strong battle line, but the Coalition just absolutely hammered into them then. Although that said, what the part of the battle that we were watching was going pretty well for the Coalition, if you look at the numbers, it is actually in favour of the Bretonnians right now. So other parts of the battlefield must have been going pretty well for them. Over here, the men of Svansi moving through, doing a great job supporting their allies. I think this might be the last pocket of resistance. And look, the men of Langui and Order of the Lake moving in. Svansi there trying their best to reform the battle line, but there's nothing they can do. There's just too many enemy. I think it's just got to a point in the battlefield now where they just have to turn and fight and survive for as long as they can. Do the Coalition proud as they fight to the death. There we go, guys. Another round completed. And you guessed it, another victory for the Bretonnians. Oh, what a shame, guys. The Coalition have some great fighters, but the Bretonnians just doing a really good job at well, at fighting in this event. I would say, you know, just looking at the beginnings of the round, the way the clans form up, the way they try to flank the opposition, I would say both clans come across as pretty equal. The only thing that I've spotted in the event so far is that during each event, it does seem to be the Bretonnians being much more aggressive in the later stages of the battle. I think because the Coalition may be bringing a few newer players to the battlefield today, I think they're being a bit more passive, so when the numbers are even, you know, they're choosing to stay in place, play defensively. And the Bretonnians, it's just allowing them kind of mid to late game to kind of get better positioning, get around them, and play more aggressively. So there we go. We did a round watching the Bretonnians. Let's move back to the Coalition side and see them form up. So flag A, which is the other side of the battlefield again. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I don't think we've actually seen control point B in play this battle, which is a shame because, you know, it adds a bit more variety when we see all the control points. I think we have just kind of been flitting between control point A and C, which are on the kind of peripherals of the map. Here we go. Clans forming up. I believe these are the men from LGA. No, RGA, which is, I'm going to try another go on the pronunciation of that. Rainum Aeternum, or Eternum? Rainum Eternum, that sounds right. Probably still not right, but there you go. Who else have we got here? Yeah, all guys from RGA. IBN Chadad commenting again, saying that Bron's an American fella who joined BRE. That even though he has a pretty extreme ping, obviously connecting from across the Atlantic, still hasn't stopped him from playing. So yeah, well done, Bron. Really good following you, bud. Hopefully we'll see him again on the battlefield. Oh, look at that! So the Bretonnian Cavalry managing to get a few kills on the Coalition early game. That's going to be huge. Yeah, a stark reminder, guys, that you have to watch out for enemy cavalry as you're moving towards the front lines. So here we go. Men's from Svanti here, holding the Coalition left flank. VSC, Volzen clan, moving through the centre. I mean, considering Volzen clan disbanded a couple years ago, they somehow have managed to come back with a vengeance because they now have one of the largest lines on the Coalition force. Very nice to see. Let's see if Kingdom of Horrorland can have a similar comeback in the future. I'd love to see it. So here we go. Coalition moving into the town where we have control point A. No sign of the Bretonnians yet. So let's take advantage of being the eye in the sky. Oh, look at this! So the Bretonnians have actually come in from the rear and they've managed to catch a few of the Coalition clans out. Look, most of the Coalition made it across the bridge, but there were a few stragglers here who get caught out. Oh, look at this guy here swimming across. Do you know what, guys? I didn't even know the swimming mechanic was in multiplayer. Really, really nice to see. Look, here we go. Do you know what? I've literally never seen that in these events before. Very, very cool indeed. I had no idea the swimming mechanic worked on the land battles. And there we go. Look at this excellent archer positioning from the Coalition over here. They've got a really, really nice flank into the sides of the Bretonnians as they move in. Although, look, the men from Jizaru here doing a good job. All the guys on the flank here have their shields out, trying to stop the arrows from coming in. Look how many arrows they've soaked up in those shields. Clearly working for them. And yeah, look, they're trying to jump into the water just to extend their battle line. But as they move towards the other side, as they come out of the water, the Coalition are waiting for them. Oh, guys, it's so sad. I almost don't want to jinx it because, you know, we've had a few rounds where it looked like the coalition were going to win, but the Bretonnians managed to claw it back last minute. So this certainly isn't a done deal. And yeah, look at this. The men from Aquitania here, looks like they have secured the right-hand side. And they are getting behind the coalition, holding the bridge. Oh no, this is awful news for the coalition. Here we go. So guys, once again, you know, the coalition doing what they've done most games. You know, they hold their own, but then just as we kind of approach mid-game, you see the Bretonnians doing the kind of flanking maneuvers, doing the things that actually secure them the victory, while the coalition just play defensively. And I think, guys, it's just not working for them on this map. You know, there are some maps where maybe playing more defensive gives you an advantage, but I would say with all the kind of tight choke points in this, you know, the game is absolutely won by the clans that sweep around, actually get behind the opposition. You know, there were probably three things that win you these battles. One is numbers. The second one is positioning, flanking your opponent. And the third one is just the quality of your men. You know, do you have experienced players? But guys, do you know what? If you are looking to join these events, don't let it put you off. Because one thing I will say is that we all love it when new players join the game. Because these battles are so much better the more players that we have. And I think there's kind of an understanding with this whole event and kind of community around it that all the new players will eventually become experienced players. So you will be welcomed with open arms if you choose to join. And there we go, guys. Round 9 coming to a close. And that is another victory for the Bretonnians. So guys, on the topic of getting involved, I have created a new website over at clans.matsfiefdom.com. It's basically a portal where I've got most of the clans that participate in this event listed. So if you are looking to get involved and you're not sure where to start, go to this website and find a clan that looks good for you. And I'll have a link to their Discord or TeamSpeak, you know, whatever they're using to kind of get you into the action. But yeah, you know, pick one because all of the clans welcome new members with open arms. You know, it's how I started, guys. I joined the Kingdom of Hordeland, had no idea what I was doing, but really welcoming. You know, Toto, who was the leader at the time, he got me into it and absolutely loved it from day one. So if you're looking for a medieval experience unlike any other, go to this website and join one of the clans listed. So let's move back to the game camera, guys. I think we are moving into the late game now as the next round comes to start. So let's pick a random player again. I know we've been doing a lot of kind of eye in the sky stuff. I'm quite keen just to choose one more player at random. Let's choose someone from VSC. Here we go. We've got VSC Hans. Cool name. So just look at this line. VSC bringing what must be, 30, 40 infantrymen and about 8, 9, 10 archers. Huge battle line. I mean, this clan single-handedly makes up probably a quarter of the coalition. So, you know, we're gonna need to make sure that somebody with experience is leading this part of the coalition. So they are moving towards... once again, guys, no control point B. So the clans are moving to A, which is the same one that we saw last time. It's the control point situated in the village over on the right-hand side over there. So look, Hans and the VSC being backed up by Almagavers to their right over there. I think they've also got Blood Diamond as well to their right and out in front. Looks like there's nobody on their left, although the Blood Diamond Cavalry, you can see there, protecting their left flank from the Bretonnian cavalry. Yeah, the Bretonnian cavalry not really able to attack the infantry this time around, not like we saw in the last round. Oh look, we've got Bretonnian archers up in the tower up there, firing down into the men. It looks like the coalition are moving across the bridge and securing the choke points in the town. VSC moving to the town centre, squaring up against the men of Aquitani. Oh, they are playing aggressively, going straight in. I mean, to be fair, you know, VSC have the numbers. They're a large clan, but I think they're going to need some backup because they are heavily outnumbered on this side at the moment. Got the good men from Swansea coming in behind, and our man Hans here. My goodness, so he's got the shield away, choosing to just hold his mace in two hands. Moving around the battle line, just looking to find a gap. And the men from Jizaru coming in from the right here. Hans spotting it, moving into counter. Yep, and VSC nicely reforming the line to stop them coming through. I'll tell you what, the nice thing about dual wielding like this is if you have the kind of like top-down attack, it's great for breaking shields. You know, that kind of top-down attack like Hans is doing here causes the most damage of all the kind of swing types you can do. Ooh, but they are being sandwiched. Hans just having to commit himself. Got Montfort there. Benoni. Oh, Benoni takes him out. Famous YouTuber. Hans goes down. Well fought, bud. We'll see you in Valhalla. And the round is continuing. The Bretonnians once again, as predicted, getting the upper hand. Over on this side, it does look like we've got a pocket of fighting. As the Bretonnians charge forwards. It looks like they are chasing down the coalition archers. Yep, and the coalition archers just having to turn and fight. You know, there's nothing they can do. This guy holding on for his dear life, but yeah, goes down. Nothing they can do against those numbers. So who we got in the chat? Just another human. Love this game. Love this guild. I guess that was someone we were looking at earlier. Malt Left says BD, 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 which stands for Blood Diamond. Yep, great, great coalition clan. And El Camarada, welcome back, bud. I recognise that name. So epic. I absolutely agree. So guys, lots of GGs in the chat. I think that might be the end of the event. So we will stick around for a little bit longer because sometimes there's a bonus round that a few clans stick around for, and it is kind of cool to end the week watching like a huge cavalry charge. So let's stick around and see if that happens. But guys, great fighting on both sides. In fact, even a few people in the chat there saying it was their first time and they really enjoyed it. And guys, it could be your first time too next week. You know, just while we're waiting for the next bonus round to begin, if you are looking to get involved in these events, just head over to clans.matsfiefdom.com. If you want to play for the Bretonnians large clan, they've got a listing on there. If you want to play for one of the smaller coalition clans, plenty of clans to join. Doesn't matter what language you speak, what nationality you are, there are clans that cater for absolutely everyone. So, you know, I'd say there's a huge portion of English-speaking clans, but I know for a fact we've got Spanish, there's Catalan, there's Czech, there's some Slovakian clans, there's German clans, French clans, you know, you name it. There's a clan in this event for you. So head over to clans.matsfiefdom.com, find a clan and join it, and you could be participating in these events as early as next week. Oh, Momoto01, bud. Oh, he's just said, bruh, I missed it. Hard luck, bud. If you need to, you can watch it on catch up. You know, just wind this video back because we had some incredible fighting today. If I had to summarize it without too many spoilers, the Bretonnians pretty much had the upper hand most of the battle. In fact, what am I saying? I just said without spoilers. That was a massive spoiler. Oh well. But yeah, the Bretonnians really dominated in the event today. And yeah, such a shame for the coalition. I don't think they were able to win a single round. But guys, I mentioned it earlier. It just comes down to who's playing in these events, who's commanding. There will be events in the future where the coalition steamroll just as well. So they weren't lucky this week. Didn't have the players, didn't have the skill enough, or the skill, but next week will be completely different. We may well see a win. So guys, we will just keep an eye on the bonus round. Look, yeah, loads of men spawning in as these kind of Bretonnian champions heading towards the front lines. In fact, let's just click on one of these guys. Here we go. Jean-Jacques. That's a Bretonnian French name if I ever heard one. The Bretonnian cavalry heading towards the front line. We've got coalition cavalry coming towards them. Should see them soon enough. Jumping across the gap. Very nice. Jumping across the next gap. There we go. To be fair, it looks like most players have now left the event. So I think the Bretonnian cavalry here just struggling to find targets because there basically aren't any more men left in the game. So guys, I think without further ado, let's bring this thing to a close. Just going to do the usual thank yous. I'd like obviously to thank you, or thank the Bretonnian developers who host these events. You know, it does cost them money, but we've got a number of people in the community who help bring these events to life. It's just so that all the clans can join. So big thank you to all of those people. Would also like to thank all the players for joining, because, you know, obviously without the players, these events wouldn't be so spectacular and we wouldn't get such good content for the channel. And finally, I would like to thank you guys, the viewers, for joining me today. Obviously quite a small stream today, but excellent, good fun nonetheless. So for every single person that tuned in today, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Right, guys, I mean, I almost hate to say it because, you know, we'd like to clutch onto the weekend and make it last for as long as possible. But, guys, I think it is just about to come to a close. So it's 9 or getting on for 9 p.m. here in the UK. You know, I'll be going to bed soon, looking to get up for work. But just like me, you know, if you are in the in Europe, you've got a few more hours before bedtime. Make it last, make it count. And, guys, if I don't see you, enjoy your week next week, and I will catch you probably not next Sunday because I've got some plans over the weekend, so probably won't be around for the live stream, but hopefully I'll be able to do the next one of these either Wednesday for the Corona Sibiricus event, or failing that, maybe we'll just skip a week and then we'll get back into it the week afterwards once I've got some availability. But guys, thank you so much for joining. I've been Matt's Fiefdom, and I will see you all in the next one very soon. Take care.